did get to go to a grand opening of a thing. We went on the day it grand opened.
Yes.
We went to Busch Gardens Williamsburg to ride the all new, the Big Bad Wolf, the Wolf's Revenge. Now, exactly. This is a sequelized roller coaster from the old Big Bad Wolf. They even did look like lead up content of telling you the story of the wolf, of how the villagers tried to get rid of the wolf.
Remember when they wanted it to be like a dumb name and people are like, no.
Yeah. No, it's not going to be Wolf Snare.
Just call it
Big Bad Wolf.
What it is.
Yeah, it was great. It's by the Doss House. If you go to Busch Gardens Williamsburg, they have like a neat lead up with like barrels of beer, like
signage about
claw marks, signage for what the old story was.
Yeah,
like you can see on their Instagram. And then what I think's the neatest part about it, that I don't know if people talk about, but I love talking about it because it kind of fits, is that the ride itself where you load is actually in a old Hollow Scream house. The vampire one was always there. Bitten. Yeah. Volts 30 was there. This has Hollow Scream history, and I like that it's a spooky ride.
Yeah.
Getting this.
And a very intro roller coaster. I think they're very on par with each other from what I remember with the Big Bad Wolf. The only thing is I think the drop that was in the original was a little bit bigger, but you have that still with Verbolten.
Yes.
But the ride itself, the smoothness, I think obviously I like a lot more. It's a lot smoother now. But it's not an old ride.
Right.
But I love the story. I feel like it actually gives a better concept now than it did in the previous one of what's kind of going on, because I feel like the theming is there a little bit more.
Yeah.
But as for the smoothness and kind of, like I said, intro roller coaster, it is a roller coaster. I would not put it on par with like the Sesame Street one, or the one in Sesame Street. Yeah. Or even when you think about Universal, like Trolls or anything like that.
For Busch Gardens' sakes, I think this is a fun coaster. Like you said, intro to coastering. If you have someone that's like, I've never been on one, well, this is it. This is the one you should do because it's fast-ish. It has great theming of the town. Like the old Big Bad Wolf had a village you went through. You go through the village, and there's stuff that are going to grow. Like you can tell, they planted trees.
Yes.
So I think the trees will play a big part of this in a few years when that comes involved.
And there's little like details that I really liked, like the wolf carved like almost like the stamp, but it's a carved into the fin.
Right.
So very subtle details throughout. This ride is so smooth of what a roller coaster can be. It's got little hills in a sense. Like I don't feel like they're big drops or anything like that. It's, like I said, very smooth, very chill. I was sitting next to Kid Hilton, and at one point he actually even let go and put his hands out.
My final bits that I want to talk about, because now that this is a new addition here, what I want to give props for Busch Gardens, and they won't advertise it like this, but this is from me to you as a horror lover. I love that Busch Gardens Williamsburg has now become spooky entertainment. If you want like spookiness during the year, if Halloween ain't enough for you, you can go ride the Big Bad Wolf, the Loch Ness Monster, get a drink at Bar Castle, which has spooky drinks there, and you can ride Dark Coaster. There are multiple things there that I am impressed with that goes into now the theming of when they do Hollow Scream. The whole park is now spookified if you want to be a part of it.
For sure.
So, and just as credence here, this beer is the Big Bad Beer. Very good ale. Virginia Beer Company does a theming beer like all the time for Busch Gardens. So they have a Loch Ness Monster beer. They have this Big Bad Beer. And we saw it at the Doss House. They still had Scream Ale. Hollow Scream Ale. So you want to have a fun time, a spooky time at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Get spookified with the Big Bad Wolf, with the Loch Ness Monster, with Dark Coaster, and Alpengeist. You thought I forgot about them, but I didn't. All right, we will catch you next week.